What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Notable Talk. It's your boy, Otumba. Today I'm going to be talking about this video that I came across on Twitter. I'm going to play it for those of us that are listening so we can hear. If you're watching, it should, I'll put up the video. I mean, you can hear it, but then I'll put up the video, shut out the video on the screen so you can also watch. All right, here we go.
I mean, I don't talk to my family.
Why not?
They're irrelevant.
They're irrelevant?
None of them have followers. If they got followers or got rich, I'd probably talk to them again.
Hang on a minute. Did you just say I don't talk to my family because they don't have followers?
If they had followers, they'd be here right now.
You talking about your mother?
I mean, my mom has more followers than my sister.
It's your mother. What difference she make? Why do you care if she has followers or not? It's your mother.
Can anyone tell me what I would talk to my mom about if she's not going to be making me relevant?
Yeah, like, hi, Mom.
Now I have a career and I'm famous. That's what happens when you get famous. You cut people off.
Seriously?
Everyone's upset with it. Maybe because you guys aren't relevant either, so you don't understand.
Scum buddies. You're just scum buddies. Maybe I'm out of sync, I guess, because I didn't know you till today. And if you got to wear
Oh, I'll just stop it there. Boy. First of all, his reaction when Dr. Phil insinuated that he's never heard of him before, the utter shock in his face. But yeah, man, I came across this video on Twitter today, actually. And it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Pretty funny video. But then when I thought about it, the sadder it got. I know shows like this, they tend to have a reputation for being staged. I mean, speaking of Dr. Phil, for instance, or more particularly, most of the storylines that happen on the show, they do sometimes seem very staged to me, because sometimes the level of ridiculousness is hard to comprehend. But then again, it's in the world, you've seen a lot of ridiculous stuff. So who's to say? So I will give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume it's real. I mean, even if it's fake, it could be an exaggerated version of actual reality. But then again, it could be real. Benefit of the doubt. But yeah, this video was very funny to me when I first saw it. He said that he is famous, and when you're famous, you cut people off. Man, wow, I need to start drawing off my list of people I'll cut off if and when I am famous, for whatever reason, for whatever it could be. But that was funny, man. But yeah, I saw this video, and I mean, he looks like I don't know exactly how old he is, but he looks young. I probably would be, if I was to guess, I would say 19, 20 maybe. I know that might be a stretch, but there are a lot of people like this. They may not have the platform of Dr. Phil like he did, but I mean, they may just have the platform on Twitter, or they may just have the platform on Instagram, or these people you may actually meet in person, or they may have different platforms. But a lot of people like this. And I saw this video, and this video is a testament of the times we're in and the times we're heading into. I look forward to having kids. I can't wait to have kids. Reason because I am very weary of how the world is going, of the direction the world is inclining to, especially with social media being a very, very big, what word will I use? Very, very big player in this field. I see a lot of younger people, especially Gen Zs, speaking as a millennial, that are affected by the times we're in very interesting ways. I think we're all affected by it, but I think we're affected by it differently. Me speaking as a millennial, I see how my generation is affected by this, or by the times we're in. But when I say the times we're in, I mean in this prevalent age of social media, where social media is influencing ideologies, it's influencing people's perception of not just what life is, but what success is, and the measurement of success, and what successful people do, or how they operate. According to this young man, when you're famous, you cut people off. Boy. But I see how it affects everybody. And I also can see how the effects are very, very particular to each generation. And with Gen Z's, like, I mean, I would assume he's in that generation. I see how it's affecting them in very, very interesting ways. A lot of people see me growing up, the idea of people my age making it, the idea of people my age having very, very successful careers early on, success being measured by fame, popularity, financial establishments, stuff like that. The idea of that, it existed, but it wasn't, or I never saw it as the norm, if that makes sense. I saw it as something that was attainable, but wasn't common. In this age now, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of successful people, and you can be very, very successful at any age. But success seems more, or don't let me say success. Yeah, success in terms of being viral seems more attainable now. And not only does it seem more attainable, it seems more attainable with the absence of actual value. With the absence of actual value. The ideology of being viral now comes from a place of it happening with the snap of a finger. Whether it's you blowing up on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever social media, it almost seems like all you need to do is just that one thing, and then you blow up. And that idea in itself, it in this time and age being presented as something that's more attainable, that's more common, then inclines itself to be a core expectation. Where if that isn't something that happens, something has to be wrong. If you have put in the work for 2 months and you haven't gotten any tangible traction, then something is wrong. If you haven't, if you don't have, and I mean, and it's one thing if the standards of this success is very realistic. No, at least even pseudo, just it having just it being presented. I mean, just it even being or having any inclination to realism, it makes sense. Or even actual value, it will make sense. But with this young man, with this young man's perception of success and his reason for cutting off his family, to the point of him asking the audience and Dr. Phil, because this clip was from a segment on Dr. Phil. with him measuring the standard of fame or value or success to followers blows my mind. What even is that's one thing I asked myself when I watched this video. What are followers? like what are what like how do followers make you feel? What level of success does followers, I mean, yeah, except those followers are being transformed to actual monetary gain, or which is then a more realistic or more tangible standard of success. Except those followers are then rerouted to you getting monetary gain. What's like oh my goodness, man. I find it very hard to wrap my mind around. I mean, I understand, I get the concept, but the concept is void of common sense. Because, I was watching a video because I was taking this masterclass by Kev on stage, and he was making the distinction of your focus being, I mean, especially if you're an online personality, or you have a business online, you have maybe a business page, or you conduct some form of business online, or you have you have a platform online like I do, by the grace of God, Table Talk. He had a segment where he made the distinction between having a community and having followers, and how a community at the end of the day is more valuable than having followers. And he gave actual examples of people that have millions of followers but have no money. Those followers just being numbers on whatever social media account, like Instagram, for example. And he made that in contrast to people who have less followers, maybe just in the thousands, but are able to convert that to actual monetary value by virtue of those followers being an actual community. What even are followers? Like, followers are people who just maybe see something you do, maybe like it, and then they hit the follow button just so that you populate their timeline. Just so that you're pretty much just aesthetics to the timeline. Or I guess if your content then stimulates them in any other way, maybe whatever the reason may be, those people aren't even like, you can tell I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around this. And it's just so sad in the confidence in which this young man is speaking this garbage, which is what it is. And his utter shock at the audience's reactions, his utter shock at Dr. Phil even saying that he doesn't know him, is funny in a sense, but it's also sad. It's also sad. I want to encourage us. Like I said, I see how these times we're in affects everybody. Even my generation, it affects us in certain ways where we could sometimes also kind of get impatient to process and us not having made it. Or we could have unrealistic expectations of ourselves. You get what I'm saying? Or we could stake our success on things that are not actually tangible, on things that are not in fact success. You get what I'm saying? I get it. Or we could even just get so stuck up on the things we see online and just get so stuck up on seeing other people's successes and then throw ourselves into a state of depression on why we haven't attained that level, on why our story is not like their story. I get it. But I want to encourage us to have a strong core. When I watched this video, that's something that I thought that this young man misses in his life. Having a strong core, having a strong foundation. Well, I mean, those can be in different things. Having a strong foundation and a strong core. A strong core being a committed village that you can lean on. A core that grounds you. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the times we're living in, there's nothing anybody can do about it. People are being born every day. Generations are being cultivated. And more generations will continue to be born as long as Christ tarries. And they will continue to be faced with the wiles of the times we're in, with the wiles of technology, with the wiles of how global the world is. So there's really nothing anybody can do about it. But I feel like if there's a strong core, if there's a strong village, a strong pillar of support that this young man or had been presented to this young man, and that this young man had, that he could stand on, I feel like that strong core would have a huge effect on his life, where even with all the challenges he's facing now, with all the things he's living through, that could be imparting him with this belief, this core would speak reason and sense enough to combat these ideologies that he has possessed. And yeah, not everybody would have that. When I say not everybody would have that, I say that with the mindset of ideally your primary core being your family, because that's who you're born into. Not everybody may have a good family that, first of all, not everybody could have a family. Secondly, not everybody could have a family that's attentive enough and that even has the knowledge and the sense of reasoning to properly impart you with certain things that should shape you or guard you against thoughts like this. Not everybody could have that. But I feel like even family in itself could be given and could be chosen. You could choose your core. If you seek out the ingredients of the personalities you want to form your core, I mean, even me speaking about family, it doesn't have to be the whole family. It could be your mom. It could be your dad. It could be God. It should be God. It could be some friends. I don't know. Even that in itself. It could be, and the reason I said even that in itself is because, I mean, ideally, your core should also have experience. You get what I'm saying? Experience not just by age, but just by actual experience. Actually living through certain things that you would go through. You get what I'm saying? I think having a strong core is important. Very, very important. Very, very important. And in me, even speaking on family, I think that people should be mindful not to disrespect, not even disrespect, not to despise the core that has been given to them. And this is me even speaking of people that have family or relations or personalities in their lives that are up to the task to nurture them and guard them and present them with the knowledge that they need to properly assess the world and properly taste ideologies like this and recognize it as bitter and reject it. Or just to even present you with a mindset to even think things through, where on your own you should be able to use a certain level of common sense to properly address things like this when they're presented to you, or to properly assess your outlook on life or your worldview on life. I think we should be careful not to despise it. Using myself as an example, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of videos. Even as a Christian, I watch sermons, I listen to sermons, I do all that. But then I realized that my reaction to certain things in my life took a turn for the better when I started to put in a more deliberate efforts with having communication with my parents. My parents being a core that was given to me and that I have confidence in of being good, of being stable. I have confidence in of having of first of all having the mindset of the best for me and having the right tools to impart me with what I need in life. I noticed that I was able to handle challenges better. I mean, I've always kind of been able to handle challenges on my own, so I could have thought. But I realized that I could handle things better. I could handle life things better when I started to be more deliberate with having communication or constant communication with my parents. Even now at this point in time, I could do better, but I'm definitely doing better than I was. Yeah, and that's one thing I realized. And this might not even be me just running to them in my state of brokenness and saying I need help, whatever. But that core serving its sole purpose of supporting me, sometimes it's just enough. Sometimes it's just enough. I think of it as quite sad that, especially because of the age of social media we're in now, social media knows what's going on with you before the people in your house, or before your family, or before your immediate personalities in your life. I think of it, I mean, I know that social media, I know that the internet and social media is a tool that we have now to just readily express our thoughts, or to just readily, or to be able to just communicate. But I think of it as very, very unfortunate when you may be living under the same building with somebody. I mean, and this may not be to the fault of whatever individual may be expressing these thoughts online. I just think of it as very, very telling when, I mean, it could be for whatever reason. It could also be because you don't have anyone. But even that in itself, even if you don't have anyone, we also have the personal responsibility of surrounding ourselves with, I mean, I've said it in previous episodes, we have the personal responsibility of surrounding ourselves with things that would directly aid us. Social media, honestly, it's a tool. It's a tool that's supposed to serve us. It's a tool that is supposed to aid communication and make the world a global village. It's not something that's supposed to primarily indoctrinate us, if that makes sense. It's supposed to be a tool that's, yeah, it aids the dispersal of ideas and ideologies and information and data and all that good stuff. But it shouldn't be raising you. It shouldn't be raising you, man. You know, a lot of us have experienced people outside stores like Walmart. Yeah. A lot of us have experienced people outside stores like Walmart that ask us for some change. Maybe you're walking into Walmart, or you're walking into, maybe you're just on the street, and they ask you for change, or they come to you for help. And some of us help them. But the only reason why we helped them is because they asked us for help. If someone just sat outside Walmart and just looked sad, even if you see them and you have compassion, the most you will probably do, most of us will do, is be like, oh, he looks sad. We might not even pay him much attention. We might notice this individual that looks sad or downcast, if we do notice, but we'll walk past. We wouldn't lend a helping hand of change that they need, except they directly ask you. If that makes sense. In other words, you need help with something is bothering you, something is challenging you, you have a challenge in life, you should ask. If that makes sense. You should ask. Now, let me take it a step further. Now imagine you're walking into Walmart and then you see your sibling outside Walmart asking people for change, and you're wondering, what are you doing here? You need change? Why didn't you ask us at home? It's one thing if you've asked us before and we've dismissed your needs, but now you haven't even asked. How preposterous does that seem? Now you're now in the social setting. You're now in the public asking people for alms, and you have people at home. You have people in your immediate environment, whether home or church or wherever it may be. Wherever it may be. Maybe if you have men, wherever it may be. It seems pretty preposterous, right? That's how I think of it. Long and short of it, especially directly addressing younger people, teenagers right now. Let me say teenagers right now. Whoever may fall into the Gen Zs. I think you guys should, first of all, understand that where you have your work cut out for you. You may think you are prepared. You're not. I would advise you to lean on the people that you have to help you navigate. That's what it is. To help you navigate these times. I mean, we're navigating these times too. We're figuring it out. We have had the privilege of experiencing times before this. And we can see the sharp contrast of how our mindset was and how our outlook on life was at your age. Ask for help. Ask for help. If you need help, ask for help. Don't be this person. Don't be this guy. This person, he needs help, yeah? But he needs more help than he would have needed if he had a core, a strong core. And if he does have a strong core, if he utilized that core and leaned on his core. Also addressing this core, the people that will be in this core, that's the flip side. Let's do our parts. Let's do our parts. Let's do our parts. Let's not be trash. Let's not propagate wrong ideas or wrong ideologies. You feel me? Let's, as we're helping ourselves, as we're navigating, let's also realize that we also have younger people who are less developed and who are less prepared for these times they are in. Let's do our parts. You feel me? Let's do our parts. All right. Appreciate y'all for listening or watching another episode. Hope you learned something from this. Hope you do our parts. Hope you lean on our cores. Hope you're mindful of having a core, of having a village to ground us, because we all need it. We all need it. And appreciate y'all, man. All right. Bye.
Sit back, relax, and chill. Grab a glass of wine or a cup of tea, 'cause you're listening to No Table Talk.